Welcome back, everyone. After doing some comic book research, I've put together my top 5 most likely villains of WandaVision. If you agree on one, give the video a like, or if you think there might be somebody else, let me know in the comments down below. The Grim Reaper is from New Jersey, just as Westview is. We know this because of the area code on the real estate sign in episode 1, as well as the town Hackensack being mentioned in episode 2. Along with that, we have some Easter eggs regarding the Reaper during the opening sequence. First, as Vision phases through the floor, we can see his helmet between the floorboards. Second, as Wanda is in the grocery store, there is an advertisement for Wonder Oats, which is a nod to Wonder Man, who is the Grim Reaper's brother. Vision and Wonder Man together defeated the Grim Reaper in the comics. Agnes also wears a pendant that's hard to see, but could be construed as someone holding a scythe. Overall, I find the Grim Reaper to be the least likely of the villains portrayed, so there's nothing to fear from him.
Don't fear the Reaper.
With an upcoming episode featuring Halloween, it only makes sense for Sawwin to be on this list. Sawwin is the demon embodiment of All Hallows Eve and had Scarlet Witch trapped in his dimension. He could turn humans into slaves, as he did with 3 trick-or-treaters by turning them into monsters based on their costumes, and use illusions just as he showed Scarlet Witch illusions of her mother and adoptive parents. This is also where she first met Agatha Harkness as a spirit. Sawwin had lost his form and became pure energy and never had a human form. Maybe that's why we have yet to meet Ralph. He wanted to use Scarlet Witch's child to support his form and be reborn. Oh, and just like the Grim Reaper, he also carries a scythe. Wanda herself could likely become the villain of the series. She has already lost her parents, brother, and the love of her life, which is enough to send anyone down a dark path. Now that she was able to get Vision back and start a family, who knows what lengths she may go to in order to maintain it. Ultimately, I think this may just be a subplot to this series, and someone could very well be influencing her behavior. My early predictions for the show is she will lose both Tommy and Billy, only to be rescued in Doctor Strange 2. The most obvious villain is Mephisto. Fragments of Mephisto's soul were used inadvertently by Scarlet Witch to conceive her twin sons. He eventually was able to reabsorb them, resulting in the twins' destruction, and led to the consequences for the House of M comic series. While not as powerful on Earth as the Yin in his own domain, he still has the power to change form and mix one reality within another. Mephisto is able to extend his power to lower-level demons to do his bidding. Also on Earth 9997, he is actually a deviant that carries the X-Factor chromosome, just as Thanos does, which is the equivalent to a human version of a mutant. Also being called the Devil, we had some not-so-subtle hints of Mephisto being in WandaVision. It is more than likely we will see Mephisto in the MCU, but whether he makes his debut in WandaVision is yet to be determined. Before we get to our last candidate, and my personal favorite, make sure to subscribe so you don't miss any of my future content. Chatan, an elder god and archdemon of chaos. He is responsible for the creation of vampires, witches, and werewolves. Also the author of the Darkhold, which is a mystical book of spells and great power. He was voiced by Mark Hamill on the Superhero Squad. Now, didn't Paul Bettany say we would get a surprise actor in this series?
And there's stuff that I can't talk to you about where I get to work with an actor. It's going to be a surprise for everybody. I get to work with an actor that I've been wanting to work with for forever.
In medieval time, Chatan was unable to be banished, but instead was contained to a place in Sokovia. Now I wonder, who else is from Sokovia? Eventually, the High Evolutionary was able to banish him, but before doing so, a piece of Chatan was transferred to a young girl named Wanda. This amplified her power significantly. After Pietro was killed by Ultron, he was able to corrupt Scarlet Witch and at one time even possess her until freed by Doctor Strange. Now wait a minute, doesn't WandaVision lead directly into Doctor Strange too? Chatan created a dimension that he controls every aspect of, and until freed, he operated through a host known as the Other. Now, we've already met the Other in the MCU when he made his appearance in Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 1. Remember, Ronan snapped his neck? He can also manifest in any appearance. Having Chatan in MCU would set up a much larger story and greatly expand the current MCU and is my top choice. Now, it is very possible that Marvel can mix in 2 or more villains as one, or even change the story from the comics as they have done with Hela. Either way, I look forward to seeing the conclusion of WandaVision and how it will lead us into the future MCU phases. Thanks everyone for watching. Take care.